Sometimes most times waiting for everything to settle or return to normal is what is keeping you stuck, because you're so focused on things going back to how they were or how they used to be that you are not even really present, and you're almost in an avoidance state. Hey there, welcome back, or welcome if it's your first time. As you know, on this channel, it's not only me and it's not only you, but life's ups and downs are universal. So today I thought we could get into how the goal is to have peace during it. Our norm is thinking that everything will be better afterwards. And the truth is, you have to find a way to go through experiences not just focused on the after, because we do not have a crystal ball that will tell us exactly how long we're going to be going through a certain experience. Today, let's talk about just some ways so that we can have peace in the midst of whatever it is that we're going through, and not just thinking that we have to prolong a state of peace or a quality of life that can be enjoyable until after something ends. So what is peace to you? For me, peace is a state of mind, a feeling. I don't have a lot of trepidation, a lot of stress, a lot of strong worrying. That's, what peace is for me. I'm sure it's something different for you, or it might be similar. But understanding that being able to have peace doesn't mean that there's no problems. So instead of thinking peace means I don't have any problems, look at peace as a way of being able to change your perspective to better improve your quality of life. Not thinking that, peace means everything's great, happy path, but look at peace as a way of understanding that there are benefits that can come from any situation, understanding that a situation could be a lot worse, really shaping your perspective to still have some sort of peace, to still have some sort of, it's gonna work itself out, but right now it's okay, really shaping your mind to accept that and to tolerate that. So with you adjusting your perspective, keeping in mind that you can control your breathing, you can still pray, you can still start your morning routines as you would, knowing that you can have a sense of peace in the middle of whatever it is that's going on. All right, the next one, most times waiting for everything to settle or return to normal is what is keeping you stuck, because you're so focused on things going back to how they were or how they used to be that you are not even really present, and you're almost in an avoidance state, or just like, I'm just gonna cope, I'm just coping until it's the way I want it to be. And that is an interesting way to live, because you're just biding your time. Is it buying your time or biding? It's buying. You're just buying time. I'm just gonna go with that. You're just buying time. So, really understanding that sometimes normal will never be seen again, and that could be for a number of reasons. But it could be because you've surpassed what was normal. Like when you come out of whatever the situation is, or as you're going through the situation, you improve yourself. It could be health-wise, it could be, career-wise, it could be relationship-wise, it could be living quality-wise. But you maybe wouldn't have made those type of changes had you not experienced the situation that you want so badly to get away from and get back to the normal, which could be, unhealthier you, overweight you, not liking the quality of life you, maybe not really trying to excel career-wise, entrepreneurial-wise, whatever. So calling something the norm or trying to get back to the norm, that might be paralyzing you because you're so locked in on an old way, a past way. And yes, for yourself that was in that situation, maybe that was the best you could do. And that's all you see as, oh, that was such a great time. That was my norm. But what if there's a new norm? What if there's a new norm to be had for you? And you're so focused on going back to the old norm that unfortunately you can't even receive the new way, the new norm. You can't even envision it, and it could be keeping you stuck. I would like to let you know that life hardly ever goes back to normal. There's a new way that we typically get to. So wanting to have things go back to normal or return back to normal is almost like you wanting to be your high school self again. You're like, that's my normal. I woke up, went to school, I was in high school, and I didn't have any bills. And it's like, okay, but no, you don't need to go back to that state of being. You don't. There's a new normal. You're in a new place in life. You're not in that position anymore because you're supposed to advance and grow out of that phase or that stage. Similarly, sometimes what we think is normal is just a stage or it's just a phase, and we have to accept that, okay, this is how this phase or stage comes to an end. This is the only way that this phase or stage would have come to an end, because I wouldn't have left it. I wouldn't have stopped it. I would not have walked away from it. I would not have voluntarily decided that I was through with this phase of life. So this is how it's going to come to an end. And whatever that your situation is, it could continue. It could continue. If it's a relationship, it could continue. It'll just be different. If it's a career, it could continue. It could just be different. Whether it's with the same employer or maybe a different employer. If it's a business, it could continue, or it could not. And if it continues, maybe it'll just be different. Maybe you run it differently. If it's a health situation, like maybe a diagnosis, of course your goal would be to be healed from whatever that thing or that condition is, but maybe it will continue, but you just learn to live differently. You learn to live with it, but or you can find ways to self-heal yourself. Maybe, some people reverse different conditions. So whatever the thing is, it's like it could continue and be different, not like how it was, or it could not continue, and it's time to move on. It's time to do something else, be something else, become something else. So just opening up your mind to a new normal and not being so fixated on normal, my old norm, my norm, the normal me, because I hope you've been changing every day. Whether you think it's a good change or not, I hope you've been changing every day. And trying to go back to, it's like with our devices and things like that, right? You get a firmware update or a software update, and imagine you being like, no, I like that very first operating system that they had. I want to go back to that. And it's like, okay. Now, sometimes there are some updates where you're like, I didn't like that update. I would like to go one back or two back or whatever. But picture you saying norm as you going back to the original operating system, right? That doesn't even fit. So don't make yourself be stuck with trying to chase the old norm. Focus on establishing your new normal. Okay, so next, you're going to want to practice calmness. Practice being calm in small, simple situations, because that practice allows you to build the calm like you would exercise and build a muscle. And you doing it in those small situations, that allows you to, I don't want to say automatically do it in the bigger ones, but you doing it in those small situations helps you easier display calmness, be calm, exude peace and calmness in those bigger situations. It's like almost like you're going to practice every day, and it's like, all right, today's game day, right? Sometimes there's a big thing that shows up in our lives, and it's like, this is game day. Everything that I've been practicing and growing myself and improving myself and showing up for myself and being honest with myself, reflecting, journaling, having really tough realizations with myself, all of all of this is for game day. I feel like there's a saying or something about all the marbles. If I find it, if I think about it, I'll put it here, but it's something about, it's for all the marbles, pulling out all the stops. It's something like that. Anyways, but so when you are able to do those small practices throughout life, then ultimately, ooh, Lord, y'all, we got to get all the way over. Hold on. Woo. Just clear 3 lanes. But anyways, so when you are doing those things in the small, everyday, mundane, not big, not grand, small, you are preparing for the bigger things. You're preparing for the big moments that really matter. Those times when, if you hadn't been already working on yourself, it's gonna show. It's gonna show in these type of situations. So I hope you found this video to be helpful. I hope you found some things that you can implement as you're going forward and growing through whatever experiences that are going on in your life, and just know that you are not alone. That is the whole purpose of our talks. That's the whole purpose of this channel. Just so you can know that you are not alone in whatever it is that you're experiencing. So please be sure to check the description box for any worksheets or any goodies. If you have not already, please give this video a thumbs up if you got anything from it. You can subscribe, like, comment, all those things. Okay, got a little rocky right there. And thank you. I just want to thank you for watching this video. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.